order. We'll meeting to order, regular select board meeting, March 16th, 6 p.m. Town Hall. Before I start, before I adopt the agenda, I'd like to welcome Peter to our board, Richardson, and another term for Anna and John. Thank you. So I need a motion to adopt the agenda. Any additions to it?
Sorry.
Hearing, no changes. All in favor of adopting the agenda?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Need to approve the minutes of March 2nd. Any changes? Have them here if you want to look at them. Any changes or corrections? Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
All in favor of the minutes of March 2nd, 2026?
No.
Oh, that's right. We have minutes of March 3rd, which was our organizational meeting, right after the town vote. Any corrections or additions to those minutes? They have a motion to accept the minutes of March 3rd.
Move to accept the minutes March 3rd.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the minutes of March 3rd, 2026?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes pass. We have a presentation from Sullivan Powers on our audit. And I think Rick is on the line, right?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here. What I'd like to do is just take a few minutes and kind of go through the audit report with you. Then if there are any questions at the end, we can chat about those. So there's a lot of information here, 39-page report. Obviously this report, the responsibility of it is from the management there and staff and coming up with all the numbers through your accounting system to get to this point. We assist in preparing the financial statements, but our real job is really on pages 1 through 4, the audit opinion. So basically you can have an audit opinion that says your financial statements are adverse, meaning they're not fairly stated, or you can have a qualified opinion, meaning they're fairly stated except for something, and then you can have an unqualified opinion. The only qualification to our report with the town of Grafton is one we've seen for years, which is related to the investments being carried at market rather than being carried at cost. I think we've talked about that over the years, and that is the only qualification to the report. Everything else would have been clean for all the other funds. Focusing on, I'm going to skip over to page 7. So this is what we call the balance sheet. The title statement of modified cash basis assets liabilities, but most people would know it in the business world as a balance sheet. This is a snapshot in time of your assets, your liabilities, and your fund balances for most of your large funds there. So we look firstly to look at the general fund. What I focus on there is the fund balances of being $1,326,999. Now, obviously, a lot of that balance is restricted, I think mostly related to FEMA projects that had been received money but haven't been spent yet. But if you're looking, the big number that I usually look at is the unassigned fund balance or deficit, which if you're looking at the bottom there, it's 221,249 positive. Last year, that was about 136,298 negative. So you had a good turnaround in the unassigned portion of the fund balances. You can see again, the capital projects had about 320,000 fund balance. The library fund has 1,334,000. Obviously, all that can be spent on just library related items. The Walker Bridge is in a deficit here, but I believe you're going to be getting debt for that to cover that deficit. And then the last column is just the trustee of public funds with a fund balance of 122,273. If we skip over to the next page, page 8, so that was the balance sheet. This is the income statement. This is what happened with revenue and expenses during the year for each of the funds. And you see how we have the revenues up top, expenses in the middle, and then transfers. And then you'll see at the bottom how we tie back to the fund balances that were on the exhibit the exhibit C that we were just looking at. So you can see again, big profit in the general fund, mostly related again to the FEMA money you received, and some of it still needs to be spent on projects where they sent you money in advance. Again, about 43,000 loss in the capital project fund. So, but still have that heavy fund balance there, and a profit in the library fund about 36,000, and the Walker Bridge fund obviously lost 491,000, but that'll be reimbursed with the loan proceeds that come in. Pages 9 through 15. These are your budget actual reports. You've probably seen these all year long, whether it's monthly or quarterly. I don't think there have been too many changes to this from when we walked in the door to do the audit report. So I'm not going to go page by page on these, but if you're looking for how the finals lined up with the budgets for both revenue expenses, these are the pages you'd go to. Pages 18 through 35, these are the notes to the financial statements. If you're looking for a deeper dive on anything, your cash accounts, what's insured, what's uninsured, your debt balances, your terms of your debt, all those things would be, and the other one I would look at, it would be your fund balances. All this information is in these footnotes. So again, if you're looking for a deeper dive on anything that's on the balance sheet or fund balances or what it can be spent on, these notes to the financial statements would be very helpful to kind of thumb through and look for information that that you could possibly be searching for. It's got a lot of great information in there. On schedules 1 and 2, you'll find the same things. This is page 36 and 37. So this is your private purpose trust funds, which, you know, obviously your SB Jones, your Edward Campbell, Woolen Fund, all the other private purpose trust funds. And again, 36 is your balance sheet. Here's where your cash and investments balances are, and not many liabilities, obviously, because it's cash basis. The net position for all those funds right there. And again, if you're looking at 37, that's the income statement for those funds as well. As part of our process of going through the audit and going through our procedures, if we find material weaknesses or significant deficiencies, we're required to communicate those to the board. As part of our audit, we did not find any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies that needed to be disclosed in the audit. And so congratulations for that. We did have a few recommendations that we put in the management letter, just other recs. They don't have to be in writing. We usually do, you know, talking about a few things like doing a fraud risk assessment, some vacation policies changes that we kind of thought might want to at least take a look at, and then setting up some new policies related to uniform guidance. So those are all there for you to look at any point. Other communications, we encountered no difficulties in dealing with staff or management during the audit. We had no disagreements with staff or management during the audit, and we had no consultations with other auditors. All entries we proposed were posted, and so those are the required communications that usually come in the audit committee letter. That's pretty much what I have. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
I have one.
Yes.
On the unrestricted amount, is that too much money to have?
You're talking page 7, the 221,000? Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that. Number one, GASB recommends that you probably have anywhere between 15 to 25% of your budget as your fund balance for dealing with cash flows issues and things like that, or unforeseen events. So that's a pretty good normal recommendation that you try to keep somewhere between 15 and 22% of your budget. So I don't think that's too big at all. And again, right now you're fluctuating from year to year. It's hard to judge that until the FEMA stuff's all done and you can see what's come in versus what's gone out.
Rick, I had a question.
Yep.
The single audit, So you're
Yes.
saying we did not need one this year, what about next year, or are we off the hook on all single audits?
No, you're not off the hook on all single audits, but next year I will say there's a chance you don't, there's a chance you don't make it, but I would need to see the numbers from the year you're in, the trial balances and the money that's come in versus the money that's been spent. The good news for you is the single audit threshold for the year we're doing right now is 750. Next year it goes up to 1 million. So if the CIFA awards and expenses falls below 1 million, then you wouldn't need a single audit. But if it goes $1 above 1 million, you will need a single audit next year. I can help you do calculations on that. Now that we have some of we have a lot of the documents, we can upload those, figure out all the different projects that are going on, what was spent, and see if your federal awards will go over 1 million. But we want to get closer to the end of June before we look at that.
Rick, I'm Peter Richardson. I'm new at this table.
Hey.
I
Nice
had
to meet
a
you.
chance to, yeah, thanks a lot. Certainly impressed with a clean audit. Always good to see.
Yeah.
Is this a good time to go and at least go down your list of recommendations and have a touch point about the conversations that have gone on with the staff about these items and get an update?
You're talking about the management letter?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, the things that we mentioned, and we've talked with, and some of them have probably been on the management letter before, but things we like to see towns do. One of them is a fraud risk assessment, which is basically, and you can use either flow charts, questionnaires, but it's management, staff, all evaluating where could fraud be occurring within the organization. And so a lot of times it's about meetings and sitting down and seeing what are our controls, where's cash collection sites, where are we weak, looking if you have things like transfer stations and parking meters, things like that, which obviously you don't have the parking meters. You find the weaknesses and then you try to strengthen your controls and assess and minimize the risk of fraud that could occur. The vacation policy payout is just something we noted.
Pause on that one.
Yep.
Just pause, just briefly. Is there any dispute about that? I guess the question came from you, or is that an item that's benefited from conversation and you have got that point and we're going to focus on that, or are we pushing back?
I've not found anybody pushing back, but I do have a lot of clients who get to it and say, listen, I just haven't had time to really get that going because I've been so focused on getting the work done. So in most of my clients, or a lot of my clients, that ends up going to the back burner. But if you look at the newspapers and you read articles, you see the frauds are occurring out there. And it's just something we always like to at least mention, to think about those processes so that you can avoid any sort of problems with potential frauds down the line.
And I find it with, Peter, we have had problems down there probably for the last 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
We have tried, going through VLCT with a model of it.
Yeah.
But it is very entailed. There's a lot to it.
Okay.
So we just have not,
Good.
we put it on the back burner, like Rick said.
Reasonable answer. I guess, is this an appropriate forum to at least have that response?
Yeah, and it just, somebody has to take the initiative and we gotta complete the process.
Okay, and then the investments issue?
Yeah, the investment issue is, again, what we've talked about over the years is the standards say, because you're a modified cash basis, that investments need to be carried at cost. You've always carried them in market, which quite honestly, we agree with that, carrying them in market, because it's a much more valuable tool than the cost numbers. But the standards say it should be at cost. So we have to put it in here as another recommendation, only because we have that qualification related to the investments in a couple of the funds. So, but I'll be honest, that I probably wouldn't worry about getting that one done, because you haven't done it for years, and I think everybody's getting way better information with having investments in market than cost anyway.
But does that mean it's not going to show up next year?
No, it'll probably always show up, or actually, like I said, none of these have to show up. These are all things we can talk to you verbally about. None of them have to be in writing. It's just something we typically do. So yeah, that doesn't have to be on there next year. I can take that off.
I think I could speak to the next one. We haven't really done about it, but I think that the personnel committee is on our list.
Looked at it last week.
We looked at it, but we still need to.
The wording was the
Right,
thing we were working on, how to
Right.
word it.
so it's underway, I guess we'd say.
And so, and then the last one is, so under uniform guidance, there are specific policies that the feds want you to implement. I can send you examples of those tomorrow if Jenna hasn't already. Here's a list of them. Some of them you'll have, you might already have some of these policies, but it probably doesn't have the federal wording that they want to see. So if you ever have grantors come in and do like little audits on their own or program reviews or project reviews, sometimes they may be asking for that. So it's just good to make sure you have those in place. So if you don't have copies of those already, I can definitely get you samples of what some of our clients have done with this. That way you can at least have it in play in case the feds do come in.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions the board has for Rick? Yeah, you all set?
I'm all set. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you very much. Have a good meeting.
We have, two folks coming from Wyndham County Lead Hazard Control and Healthy Homes. They should be on Zoom.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, my name's Alicia Underwood. I'm the program manager of the Wyndham County Lead Hazard Control and Healthy Homes Capacity Building Program. My coworker, Emily Gibbs, has reached out to you, and unfortunately, she's not able to join me tonight, and she apologizes for that. But she will be following up after this meeting with additional resources that we have. And both of us are available to answer any questions. So thank you for your time. I just wanted to share just a few minutes and give you a brief overview of our program. We are entering our second year, and we are housed through the Wyndham County Sheriff's Office in Brattleboro, Vermont. This is a capacity building program that was awarded $1.1 million to serve Wyndham County and work to reduce lead hazards and increase capacity to do abatement across the state. We have 3 goals: to train and certify contractors to increase capacity for abatement work in Vermont through free training, to engage property owners, both single family and multi-unit housing, and build a pipeline of homes in need of assistance, and to encourage lead testing in children ages 1 and 2. We offer 2 types of free training for anyone who is interested in or anyone who is working towards disturbing paint surfaces in pre-1978 housing and child occupied facilities, as well as contractors interested in bidding on HUD funded lead hazard abatement projects. These classes can be found on our website, and we can get you set up. Those trainings are offered twice every month in Brattleboro and across the state. So in 2027, we hope to be able to build a successful program here in Windham County and abate low-income housing, both single and multifamily units, and sorry, and protect children under the age of 6 years old. Any questions?
Can you tell me a little bit more about the training? This is contractors, right? And how do you put a letter out to contractors, or how does that go about?
Yeah, so any contractor is able to attend these trainings both for it's called renovation, repair, painting, and maintenance, and or abatement certification through EPA certified trainers. And we have been working with the state of Vermont to contact these contractors, as well as anyone who's interested or anyone who owns a property or anyone who does a do-it-yourself project. They can attend these classes for free as well.
So are you going to be doing some kind of notification to folks, property owners and contractors?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Is this aimed mainly at the contractors and the training? Is there any financial support for homeowners that are doing abatement?
Yes. So once we build a program, hopefully in 2027, we will be able to provide up to $30,000 per unit for qualified properties. The qualifications are they have to have a tenant who or an occupied person who meets 80% of the Windham County's median income and has a child under the age of 6 years old per HUD requirements.
Had a similar program like this been done maybe 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago?
There's two current programs now. One program has been in existence since 1994. It is through the Vermont Housing Conservation Board, and they currently serve Windham County. They also serve all of the state of Vermont except for Burlington. The other program is in Burlington. We are working to build capacity so that the state of Vermont has more of these programs throughout. So since the beginning of our program, starting a year ago, there was only 2 contractors in this whole state that were able to work with these programs to be able to do this work. And now there are currently 11 firms thanks to our training. So we're getting close to be able to have enough contractors who are able to do this work and enough money from the federal government to be able to support it.
Yeah, I was involved with the Lead Safe program way back when it was connected with our schools and children not learning because of lead in the apartments they were working, living in. And I remember that it was quite a program, and we did it for a couple of years, so it does have an impact on children's learning.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that.
Any questions from the audience or the board?
That's good.
Well, thank you very much, and we look forward to getting more information.
Great. Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
Very-
Tim's here from Green Mountain Power for an update.
Great, thank you so much. for making time to have us appear tonight. Myself, Tim Jones and Carol Weston from Green Mountain Power. And also our valued contractor, Dan Austin, who's been in here many times, with and without us, in the past couple of years. Most recently, we appeared, last summer, I believe, Carol and I, to just sort of tease a couple of other projects that we wanted to bring to the town. Our resiliency program ends at the end of September this year. So we have one more big construction season to go. And so the two projects that we wanted to bring to the town, and again, thank you for your partnership over the years. It's been, giving us the ability to rebuild along 121 through Saxons River, a project that's still ongoing. But it was nice to hear some anecdotes when we came here tonight that, the concept is working and people are seeing more resilient and reliable power in the region. So I think the concept is working as we had planned. Tonight, really more of an informal ask. We have one routine project, overhead project, which is rebuilding in place overhead Chester Hill Road, essentially from the village here up to the entrance of Right Orchard Road. It's pretty simple, old plan. We're gonna replace it, taller poles, covered wire, spacer configuration. So it's the best overhead line construction that we have. So again, just really putting that up there. Better poles, better wire, more resilience against tree strikes up there. So a pretty standard project, basically for building in place. The big ask that we have tonight is to bring one of our underground projects to the town, and we had mentioned that last year that we had our eye on Fisher Hill, Cambridge Port Road, and that's where we are now. We come to you with 80 miles in the ground behind us already over the last couple of years, so I think we've perfected our game quite a bit. But to that end, it's a big project, it's a big ask to open up the town's roads. We'll be in Rockingham beginning of April for their portion of it. But last week, Dan and Travis were able to go out and look at the project as we currently have it designed. I think there were a couple of items that we need to revisit, fabric in the road, some culverts, just some means and methods for how we get around and through the roads, and some areas where we need to maybe reposition what we're proposing. And so that's where we stand today. I brought a draft agreement that we authored that pretty much reflects all the lessons that we've learned over all the towns that we've worked in, but it basically spells out, we're operating under Title 19 VSA 111. That's our, road work agreement with the town, but it also goes through the means and methods on how we propose to be in your roads, culverts, final road finishes, locating our cabinets, locating utilities, working in close concert with the town to make sure that we are fully aware of how we need to work with you to vary our power in your road. So that's where we stand today, and hopefully over the next couple of weeks we can make the amendments. I believe that Travis has asked us to do some redesign and come back with a final agreement, a final ask for both Chester Hill Road and the Fisher Hill Road project.
You mentioned Cambridgeport.
Yeah, right, so it goes to Cambridgeport, so basically at the intersection of Cambridgeport, I believe that that's where it leaves Grafton and goes into Rockingham. Yeah, so we'll be at the Rockingham select board in a couple of weeks for that portion of the project.
You mentioned a map, the road, that's on the old road plus.
What's that?
The map in the road, that's.
Yeah, the old road that was constructed has a road fabric, and our concern was if we were to tear through that, the mud coming up through where the fabric was torn.
So there's a plan to avoid that,
Either avoid, I think avoid, it's just, yeah, I probably did that.
or replace the not avoid.
We, Matt Olive, still here, and, his Mar, okay. We had a meeting here last Friday, and we were, asking Twilight to entertain, putting the underground in the old road then, the part that was still not like 10. But we need to work on a more detailed plan and probably move that out of the old roadway to the edge. I guess it would be the north edge of the road. Beyond the ditch area, clear of the fabric. While thought about it for a period of time and had some concerns, so we'll see if we can really want to go from there, I think it's possible. Yeah, we'll be tackling that Wednesday.
Right.
You're gonna go up Full Hill.
Well, currently. Short answer is yes, but we don't have a permit.
Well, do you consider that a town road?
No,
No, it's a private road.
to the best of my knowledge, yes.
That's what I think too. But you're gonna go up to Bill Mallory, and then come back down their new road to the culvert that's opposite of the record road.
And that would avoid, theoretically, there's box culverts that are gonna go in, so that would avoid that section.
They're very difficult to build through there because of the box culvert, the asphalt, steep slopes on the east side and work on the west. So there's not a lot of area there.
So what this really kind of goes through also, just on our maps, we've identified all the culverts that exist, so typically anything 24 inches or smaller will go through it, and replace it fully completely. Anything above that, open water, 36-inch box culverts, that's where you'll see we'll still have some overhead configurations to basically span those areas and just avoid them outright and just do a little bit more of a traditional overhead.
How far below the culverts does the cable run?
It's a 50-inch direct bury depth, so basically we'll be below the culverts, so if it's 24-inch culvert, we should be, solid, depending on, the road purchase over the culvert, we should be a solid, foot underneath. So we'll pull the culvert out, we'll go under, direct barrier, or conduit, and then the culvert goes back in over top, brand new, basically road edge, pitched, whatever, headers, footers, however the town currently manages. And we also know that, it's possible for your stormwater compliance, if we touch a culvert that's of X size, if you touch it, you need to upsize it, so it's something that will go through the Travis and just enumerate everything that's out there and confirm, what that strategy would be.
And you're good with the depth below
Yeah, it sounds like if it's beneath the culverts, we shouldn't have to record.
the, okay.
I see your letter that you got down here to replace the culvert with the same size as you took out. Our codes and standards say anything can't be below 18 inches. So if you're gonna come across 15.
Then it gets
You can't,
up.
you have to go up to that 18.
Yeah, correct. So I think it's in kind, so, whatever the standard would say, and we specify this is the type of culvert material we're gonna use, but. If it's, like you say, if it's 15 or it's corrugated or whatever, we're gonna be into it changing.
So when you get on the record road, are you gonna go up to the record road with underground or not?
Now, the current plan proposal is to continue past Record Road. And then there's a culvert that needs replacing at some point. Travis is aware of it. We're gonna jump that culvert and go on to the next property and hopefully go up what I'm calling Old Wright Road. There's no town, it's not even a town trail. I don't know, I'm not sure about the documentation of it, but I think it was the Old Town Road years ago. That interconnected with Full Hill, which I think at one time is a town road many years ago.
Way back.
Yeah, so it would be but that, we're gonna meet with the property owner this Saturday. On that route and discuss it, so there's still issues that we have to resolve.
So fair amount of vertical elevation up and down the hill. A lot of running water depending on the weather. So, if there are issues that the town crew has in the future that they feel may be, due to the excavation, would there be a remediation or a bond or farming that we could?
We haven't put a bond in place, to this point, to be honest with you, we do indemnify our work, so we will be returning to a couple of towns here and there. But I think our first time is usually the right way, but we certainly, do stand behind our work, I guess I'll say that. But if the town prefers some other lever, just let us know how you'd like to see that. I'm gonna leave this copy of the agreement, I'll also email it as well, so everybody can see it and look at it. continue to work, you know, through things with Travis here. Come
We have
back.
maps, the maps are,
There's a map here, if somebody
yeah,
wants
there's
to
several
see a map.
maps.
Yeah. I brought some full color copies. in
Right,
today.
I saw those, and stuff.
Do you want a map?
No, not now, but.
So you mentioned, on Fisher Hill, areas you can't do underground, you can do overhead.
Correct. So it'll be, again, same storm hardening technology that we have, so anything that's, we rebuild overhead will be highest and best technology that we have for storm hardening. We don't wanna leave that risk out there after we do all the underground.
Do you have a start date?
I'd say 100 years. You know, our lifetime, sure.
So is that agreement you have is different than what we had sent Morgan and Michelle?
No.
Is everybody, so it's the same?
It's the same, but it was before Dan and Travis had an opportunity, so again, if there's anything that the town sees or Travis sees that, you know, we've had other road superintendents tailor it or put sort of a rider of conditions with the agreement that we agree, you know, these things, if you wanted sort of daily supervision or whatever, the town's pleasure in that respect while we
You
construct.
said you have a map of the.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, two full sections.
You need this one back?
Oh. Got mine.
It's kind of long. Oh, are these all the same?
It's one big match, it's one set.
Oh, you did.
Oh,
What's the
I
set?
just took part of it. We'll share it.
That's right. I think we're obviously gonna have to talk with Travis and reviews, right? Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not the
we'll
paper,
just
right?
to sign this and get it back to you.
No, I think we're gonna do some more work, like, you know, we'll schedule a return
Okay.
appearance, once we hammer everything out. The Travis's specifications, and if the board has any other feedback on the agreement, any other language they'd like to see, then we can come back.
Are these, the notes from the minimum for the shop?
Yes, they are actually.
So you would ask for a start date?
Yeah,
Ideally, no later than May 15th
this year.
this year. The project ends September 30th, hard stop.
Oh,
So every project that we take on this year, we have to take to completion. So we have whittled our list down to the projects that we know we can get done this year. Just want to-
So then just take your start and then deadlines, how long do you anticipate?
That's gonna be a solid 3.
this, we need this back.
You can keep them.
Oh, okay, because I think we had a couple of.
You know, the speed of the direct berry is very quick. You know, we can get, you know, maybe 1,500 to 2,000 feet a day as that moves up. And treat it more like a paving crew, and they'll move on, and we'll have a line crew and a civil crew behind them doing all the terminations and electrical work, installing new culverts, and then last but not least is we come in and we finish, grade the road with, and place new material and restore it to as it was or a little better.
So you're not using our town crew, you're using all your equipment, all your culverts.
Turnkey, yeah, we'll supply everything, so they break down the culverts, or, you know, if the town prefers. Headers at all, if it's precast or stone built or whatever, we've seen all the variants, so we bring everything with us.
So you don't need engineers for hydrology or anything like that.
It's on them.
It's,
It's all that.
and Travis, you're gonna be appraised. Any other questions from the board? Or the audience? Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Talk to you again soon.
I turning this.
Oh,
Hoping I wouldn't steal it, and I did.
good job. What is it? That's it.
Um, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's probably better.
I know we have a long agenda here, so, we have highway report, and we have the sand bid. And I think Travis, you have, some, maybe some concerns or ideas about the sand bids. Think you had some samples that you were looking at?
Yeah, the sample that Basin found is the manufactured sand, it's a wash and cutting product.
It's like what? That's right.
Wow.
It's a wash fresh product. And then they add stone back into it. They were willing to deliver us a load so we could try it. When Brent and I looked at it. In all reality, years down the road, that's what we're gonna have, there isn't gonna be any more gravel. So we'd like to give the 2,000 yards a try, and if we have to mix some stuff, then mix some additional stone or gravel in with it.
Would you feel more comfortable going to the next bid?
Yeah, I mean, I heard great things about that sand, and I can't honestly say I've used one for the full grader stand. So that would be a sure thing.
So you're saying you heard great things about the Basin Brothers sand? This,
No, the second.
oh, the second.
Which is
Okay,
the gravel.
Yeah,
JB truck. Which is $14 a yard. A bid of 28,000 total, no, 28,000 for the product, 20,000 for delivery, $48,000. It's $500 under Basin. The other bids were quite high.
$500 over.
Over, yeah.
I mean, I'm open ears to it, if you think that's a better choice.
You're gonna use it, you're gonna be stuck to that for the sand for this year, so.
But you're saying they would bring one truckload for you to trial before you make the decision?
They did, yep, and we ran the one load through
Oh, you did already?
this past.
Oh, what'd you think?
It came out fine, it didn't freeze up hard, and it's a darker color, it's like a blue. Like a shirt back.
Did you use it all by itself?
Yes, primarily.
You saying that's stretching it with our sand or other,
You can mix it with
you
it.
can mix it?
My only really concern is that there wasn't very many rocks in it. But
You want more rock? You want more rock?
yeah, it should be, and I don't, we specified 9/16s. And I don't know if they were 9/16s or not, I didn't measure them.
It's, yeah, they mix it a half inch,
Yeah.
which it would be
It's
8/16.
just different because it's gray versus brown.
Right.
Oh, that's all. It's your call, you gotta use this.
Bottom line is, does it do the job? We,
Yeah, I mean, I kinda like to try it just because it's washed, and I won't, everyone, bind as much, is my thoughts, and. And then from here, if we do learn, it's an awful choice, I mean, we go through about 100 yards this morning, so. We can
Oh, it's to mix it.
mix it like that, so.
so easier on the equipment?
Not necessarily, it'd just be easier on, like, laying the sand out, it would build in the body and breathe. If that makes sense.
You think this is the wave of the future anyway, that?
Eventually, yeah, I won't get any gravel product, it won't be like,
when we could again.
Well, I'll make a motion that we, accept the basis bid.
Well, second.
Any conversation with that?
What comes in?
Are we still in the discussion of?
Yeah.
Madam Chair, thank you. Just wondered, Travis, if you could share with us if there are any environmental impacts with this new kind of sand that we should be aware of?
No, it's still a crushed stone. It's blasted versus dug out of the ground or hammered.
It's gray versus brown.
It's pardon?
It's gray and we're using brown. Sand, that's the only difference with that.
Well, the aesthetic sounds lovely, John.
I've been using the same he's talking about. I work with Whalen Engineering. We've been using the parking lot for years now. Granddart, we were using on blacktop, but I switched to that probably 5 years ago before we were seeing it.
It works good.
It works good for one. We get ours from St. Pierre.
Yep.
And we're getting a 1/4 inch wash sand. And it attracts the sun better. I've used them on a personal driveway. You don't get the slime like you do because you are using the stone.
So maybe less mud? Now I have a motion on the floor for basin sand bid at 48,500. All those,
No, 45.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the next one was 40 funds right there.
Sorry, 45,500.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
Yes, we did. We have a second, we have the motion second. All in favor of the sand bid from Basin?
Aye.
Any opposed? The sand bid from Basin carries. Excess weight permit, RK Miles, Basin Brothers Trucking, Dead River Company, American Gas, Hogan Public.
Make a motion to approve?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the excess weight permits as stated.
Do I have a second?
Okay.
All in favor of the weight permits that I just mentioned?
I mean, the question, if we could have a discussion, please. I noticed that there are a couple of signs that went up on Hinkley Brook Road and Middletown Road about vehicles that are over a certain weight should not traverse these roads at a particular time period. Are all of these weight permits for trucks that are under this weight that's on these signs?
They're supposed to be when they travel the road.
Okay, thank you, John. So let's say 15,000 pounds, 18,000 pounds, 20,000 pounds. How do you know when you look at a truck that it weighs that much?
Doesn't have to.
I mean, I just see all these enormous trucks driving through our village, and I wonder about, sometimes they have a very hard time making a turn on the bridge. Sometimes they're going up road, and you think, are they really falling within these weight guidelines? How do you know?
You don't much stop them. Right.
It's certainly not in their best interest to go up a posted road. They're just gonna get
The
stuck.
time you see is Susanna for the mud season,
Right.
and they're on every road here in town.
And everything.
Well, I heard today about a truck that went up Bright Orchard Road and made such deep ruts that it's practically impassable. I don't know if you've noticed that, Travis. And also sometimes I see, and I'm all for the logging business, I'm not talking anything bad about the logging business. I'm just saying some of these double trailers filled with logs. How do we know that that's 15 or 18,000 pounds?
We don't, but I don't know of anybody that is going on the roads that's not supposed to during the mud season when they're posted.
Okay.
And you've seen them on there, and it's maybe early in the morning, and they might have called Travis to say, can I go on the road? Say yes,
Okay.
because it is not gonna do anything with the road. But you have one or two people that insist on doing it. And one of the fuel companies are the biggest
Fuel,
one,
yeah.
the trash people.
There is what?
Fuel companies and the
companies.
trash people are the biggest ones that will go on.
And then what are you gonna do? I guess people have to have fuel.
We don't have a lot of problems with it. I think the fuel company was the biggest problem with them, and we spoke to them. And, you know, they try to not go on them when they really want it.
They have smaller
It's not-
trucks too, they can bring.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
They have smaller trucks they can bring if they absolutely had to in an emergency.
It's not a big problem today. I know you see trucks, which is, there's a reason why they're on, you know. There's very few that I know of that go on when they're not supposed to.
Yeah, we see trucks, John, and they also tend to feel like they go very fast down Main Street. And they seem like a hazard at times. And so that's why I wanted to raise this issue. Because I just wonder, if we as citizens can do anything, we think there's a truck that's not obeying these rules. Should we just call Travis or should we call Michelle?
Yeah.
What's
I
it?
mean, I'm on the lookout, right?
Speeding or overweight,
But
is the speeding the concern?
no, I'm concerned about we provide these weight limits, and I'm just wondering if these weight permits. And I'm just wondering if all the people we give, companies we give weight permits to are truly following the rule. And according to John, they are,
Well, no, I
for the
don't,
most part.
they're not all doing it. Maybe you see one that's not doing it, but the majority of them do it.
Are the ones that are not doing it still getting weight permits in the town?
Sure. You don't know when they're gonna do it or not. It's really not a big problem, Suzanne. With the roads, we don't have that problem.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the discussion. John, I tell you what. I will drop it for now, and when I see a truck out there, I'm gonna talk to you about it.
Oh, whatever. You're welcome.
That would be. We'll talk
You're
about it.
gonna have all your
And then you can educate me, what I can see is too much, and what I can see is fine. Thank you.
Ken, do we have any history of these trucks doing damage where we've called them in, that they have to, we repair it and they bear the cost?
Not that I know of, not on any of our main roads, like I said, mainly it would just be in the posted season or
Right.
fuel truck in the past, but that's it. All I know of.
The regular season during the summer, kind of fall, you don't have any problems. And I would guarantee probably most of them are over the way.
But one season is when we have the road damage, right, John?
And what?
The road damage, when the trucks are too heavy.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm mainly concerned about, because we're going into mud season now,
That's why they're posted.
and I appreciate that. I'm glad you did that.
But I do know that some people, run out of their fuel. And they have to get it delivered.
Of course,
That happens, you know.
I get that.
Well, also depending upon how muddy it is, I mean, I drove on a muddy road the other day and I shouldn't have. I have an SUV, I'm well under the weight limits, it looks like there are ruts from average pickup trucks, so. I think they look bad when it's bad mud, but it's not necessarily from an overweight truck, it could just be from, you get trapped in the thing and it gets deeper and deeper, so. I'm thinking. I mean, that happens there too. Go for it. That's.
Approve the TA 60
I don't think we ever finished the vote on that.
Oh, but interrupted. Sorry. So we have a motion. It was seconded, and for the weight permits that I just signed. All in favor of those weight permits?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Approve the TA 60 annual financial report. I don't have that information with me.
Did everybody get a copy?
I don't have a copy.
Oh, it's,
No,
Looks like this. Like what John has there, everything.
no, wasn't in my packet.
I haven't, hold on, you have mine
And you
again.
can make a copy.
what's an email, maybe?
Should have, mailed it, thought I could make some copies for you guys.
Well, to go zoom in.
It was not in the packet. It was in there.
So these are for state funds?
Here, I'll share.
Okay.
Well, Peter.
You have that?
Well, Peter needs one.
Here, I'll share.
Share with John.
Oh, this is fun.
Myself and, Travis and, yes, Michelle met with, V-Trans
Right,
last week. And all the meeting was for was to, verify the mileage that we have on class 2 and class 3 roads. The mileage, we didn't add any and we didn't get rid of any, so it was the same as it was the year before. Beside that, you see a figure, a dollar figure, that is the amount of money that you'll give back to the state on each, on class 2 and class 3. And it comes up to $142,000 roughly.
$142, what is that?
Now, the only difference between that and this last year is, the threshold, in order to get our emergency grant, if we have a damage to the road, was at $50,000. Because we didn't put any money in the equipment fund, it reduced that amount to 23 to 25,000, which is a good thing, but it's only good for this year. So if you have minor damage and it equals 25,000, you can apply for this emergency fund. And you'll get paid for it. Remember last year, 2 years ago, we had one that was 40-something thousand and the threshold was 50.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, very nice.
So we didn't get it, but this we will. So it's only for 1 year, because next year you will be putting money in the equipment fund.
So you need a motion to approve this.
Well,
You want a motion to approve this?
I think you do have to approve it.
That we approve it in 95 cents. I got this.
Oh, okay.
And as far as we go to grants, as far as grants, they take care of 24 towns. And we're number 15 to get a grant, which is not good. So while they were there, I had her file out another grant of lesser money. The one that we had in here is for $500,000 for Fisher Hill Culvert. We're not gonna probably get it. So I had her fill one out of lesser amount on a different project. It would be about $50,000. So there could be a possibility we could get that. You can fill out as many grants as you want. You'll only get one, but we don't stand too much of a chance of getting it.
For the Fisher Hill.
Not Fisher Hill anyways.
Am I right in understanding that once you get a grant, you then sort of go to the back of the line?
You can get, usually about every 3 years.
Okay.
But what happens is some towns don't accept the grants,
So then,
so you move up a little bit.
yeah,
You never know when they're gonna accept them or not accept them.
Well, if they don't use the money, they put it back in the pool.
No, you have
Oh,
to
they
use
don't?
money.
if we get the grant, you have to use the
Oh, yeah.
money.
They don't want any money left at the end. And sometimes they do have a small amount of money, like 50,000, and they would If you ask them, probably we could get.
So it's somewhat of a gamble, but we try.
All the grants written, or the applicant.
So that's good on that.
Any questions? No, Boris?
I actually, so if we get this grant. Where are we, I was busy sort of doing that, whatever, where would we be applying it? What would we be?
Fishing Hill,
Okay,
one of the codes on Fishing Hills, that have, both of them, there's two of them.
but what,
Both of it, $500,000.
right, but the $50,000,
Oh, where that one is?
yeah,
That's on Canal Road, just past the,
okay, thank you.
cemetery. It's the turn that goes into Rodriguez's house.
Okay,
It's a boilerplate that was put in many years ago.
okay. Yes, oh, I know, I realized that it was for Bishop. Thank you.
I was gonna do a couple more, but they're just $100,000, and you're just not gonna do it, so it's ridiculous to spend enough time on it.
Well, thanks for doing that meeting. Thank you, Travis. Means a lot that we can pursue. So hearing this
We need a motion.
information, to have a motion to accept.
So moved. I'll make a motion to
Yeah.
accept the,
TA 60 annual financial.
to the TA's, I'll make the motion to accept the annual report, financial report.
All in favor of?
Well, we just said,
Sorry, all those in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? So it just went,
All right,
all five.
yeah, like the little highlighted dots. Highlighted
Just here.
dot.
Yeah.
And then we have to send it on to Megan Braun, shovel for that tomorrow.
Travis, anything else on highway? What's that?
Everything stayed on it,
No more snow.
and the Lord. That.
Kim,
No, I really don't have anything. I think Rick said it all. We did have a rabies clinic this last Saturday, very well attended. We did 16 dogs for rabies total and 14 of them were town grafted. And GIA wrote out the check, so kudos to GIA and thank you very much for that. Yeah, it's quiet time right now.
Take it.
committee reports, cemetery committee? Award cemetery bids. No. I think we only had two. Some record and Stevens. And the lower bidder was record. Any comments? Vote. Need a motion to which
I
bid?
would move that we award a little bit to record property, for 23,250.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor of, record for the cemetery bids.
Aye.
No.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Thank you. You're here. We have the Parks Committee and we have to award the park bids. And I don't, well, I think records.
There are two brothers.
Kristen Stevens and
Ivor Stevens at 5,200 and record property maintenance at 5,000 even.
I would, make a motion to award it to Robert Record of Property Management at $5,000.
a second. Got 2 seconds. All those in favor of, record company to award the park bids? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passed. Highway Committee? Nothing?
I get the highway, we've already counted that.
I know.
One thing, our one top is in and they're putting the body and plow and stuff on it, so we should have work a couple weeks.
Tell me the truck.
Came a lot
That's
faster.
good.
Yeah. That was
It made all out of nowhere.
Yeah. Morgan, she's coming in tomorrow because we have a meeting and she's gonna sign the transfer over.
The title.
Oh,
Okay.
what time should we see, baby?
Good news.
Yeah, it was exciting to know it's instead of coming in December, it's gonna come in a few weeks. Personnel, tomorrow we meet with Travis, and the highway for your, 90-day evaluation. Do that. I don't have anything else on personnel, and you did get the, evaluation form, right?
Okay, you did.
July 3rd, flood update, you have anything, Kim?
We got a meeting tomorrow at 11:30 to see with the new, video that's coming up with the first one we got.
Is that for Web Morgan's coming in for that?
Morgan, myself and Travis.
Called the wall. On East Main. The wall. Review the appointments of. Review and approve appointments, positions for 2026. I think everybody has a list, right? Do you want me to read them? Clayton Thompson for Planning Commission. That was recommended by the planning, people on the planning commissions. Have Ron Collette. He's willing to do it again. Matt Ciano. For Developmental Review Board. Joel Neal. For the DRB. Kim. Capital Budget. Patty Merrill, Cynthia Gibbs, John Gregory, Travis Mann, Maureen Parker, and Joe Polio for Capital Budget Committee. Cemetery Agent, Austin Powers, Michael Wacefield, Council on Constable, Michelle Dufroy, Council on Aging, Dog Census, Kim Record, and Michelle Dollar. Emergency Management Coordinator, Amber Stevens. Bill Kearns for the Emergency Management Director. Morgan Wilbur for Deputy Director. I'm sorry, Bill is Deputy Director.
No, you had it right. They switched.
They switched.
Morgan and Eric.
Yeah. Yeah. Energy Coordinator Eric Stevens, listers.
Those are listed.
Oh, that's
Defense
yours.
years.
The listers, okay.
Yep.
Bill Kearns, flood plain manager. Cynthia Gibbs, tree warden, road commissioner. It's the select board chair, Kathy Sienna Goodwin, vice chair, Anna Keegan.
What do we mean in that inspector lumber?
It was blank,
It was vacant last year, I
Yeah,
think.
we don't need it, Nathan?
you wanna do it?
Sure.
Okay. John, Rick,
What are you doing? What is John's?
Inspector of lumber.
Oh, okay.
What they calling you inspector.
select board clerk. It was Steve Sargent, but now it's gonna be Peter. Richardson.
Personnel is me in here. It wasn't.
Oh, personnel is, Kathy Sienna Goodwin and Anna Keegan. Solid waste, Cynthia Gibbs. Solid waste district rep, David Naughton, said yes. Eric Stevens, for Wyndham Regional Commission. And we still need another Wyndham Regional Commission, if there's anybody out there that's interested. Cause that's, right now it's blank. Wyndham County Humane Society will be, continuing with the, town, but contract is up in July. Health Officer, Matsiano, Deputy Officers, Robbie Sprague. Foreman is Travis Mann. Town Administrator is Morgan. Right now temporary is Michelle Dolph. Administrative Officer is Bill Kearns. Do I have a motion to accept the names I just read for appointment?
Wasn't that the clerk?
Say it again.
The
Oh, we
clerk,
got the clerk.
I just, the clerk is Peter.
We do that.
We did it at the.
Shouldn't be.
Okay.
Thank you, Peter.
Is this a time for a little bit of discussion?
Sure.
How do these nominations occur? It seems like a bundle of different kinds of issues. You've got some voluntary committees, you've got some actions that this board has already taken. Having to do with the officers of the board. It seems to be a lot of mixture, and I just wonder where it's coming from. I'm also interested that it seems that justification for not having any contrary nominees is that it's hard to get. And so why bother with them? I just wonder whether an opportunity is being squandered on that. That this might be a good time, for at least for the voluntary committees, to come before the board and talk about, their the activities of the year, what the individuals who are being closed for nomination think about the committee and what they're going to be doing in the next year. I don't have this thing all tied in because I just wanted to raise those issues for the record exposed.
That's advertised in the Grafton News, and it's also on the website.
Yeah, no, I wasn't being critical that there's an advertisement shortcoming.
No, that's the way it's getting out to the public if they are interested in that position.
Right, no, I understand that, and you and I had the conversation. What I was poking at is, isn't this a good time to invite the candidates before the board and have a conversation about what their thoughts are about what they're doing? And the other thing is, for this you know, the school scattered on the different candidates. Do they all really own a place in this group action? Or is there redundancy?
I found it very hard to find people, for one thing.
I'm not asking about that.
So I'm a little confused. They are willing to, well, a lot of them are not up. Their terms, everything's right. They're all wanting to continue.
Oh, their terms have not expired?
There are several of them. Well, it depends. Do you not get this?
I do.
Okay. Well, just for example, if Matt Siano's term expired in 2006 on the Development Review Board, he had indicated a willingness to continue on the board and was elected last week, and so he is continued on the board. I'm a little confused. Appointed, some are elected, and, or
Not so much on this list.
not so much on this list,
These
yeah, I
are
guess not.
appointed.
These
are
are just appointments.
There is a combination, and maybe we could separate that out, of, you know, some of the positions on the board, that's chairperson. That's what we've done in the organization meeting that we had, you know, after the election. So I could see the confusion there, where that might be separated out. You know, or committee positions, on the board, which I think it referenced a couple. But the majority of the others, I think, by policy and tradition are appointed by the select board. Which is what, including the planning commission. So if their term is up, you know, this is the reading of the slate, and they could get, they could speak if they wanted to, certainly. I'm not sure that's ever been done.
It's never been done, it would be
And,
for a long time.
yeah, and the state of Vermont, the state of Vermont as a whole, I was reading, a story in the VLCT last week. It's hard to get people. So putting any barrier in front of them, like, you know, public speaking or justifying might be, you know, you might even lose candidates. And I'm not opposed to what you're saying, I'm just saying that, you know, it's.
So I wasn't perceiving it as a barrier. If that's the way it comes across, then I wouldn't, I wouldn't go on.
I'm not, some people don't like speaking in public. You know, I used to be one, and I've gotten over it. But I think there are a lot of people that, you know, the volunteer, there may be kind of private people that, you know, don't like to speak, so potentially, I'm not saying it is, it might. So yeah, it really is a matter of that, we ask people, it goes in the Grafton News, is there interest in filling this position? You'd be willing to do it, and then, you know, it's certainly open to more, you know, other people, but that's the reason we generally do it in this meeting, read the slate names and then whatever.
And as far as the position of the planning commission, Lester Schwab wasn't continuing, so they had an opening. And Clayton Thompson wrote a very nice letter, and when I received it, I gave it to everybody here on the board. He explained why he wanted to be on the board and what his qualifications were, and just gave us a heads up as to his interest. And he was recommended from the folks on the planning commission.
Yeah,
And it was great. He's a young man. So if you look at this list, they're not all young.
Can I add something?
Go ahead.
Most of these people that are appointed do a report in the town report of what happened throughout the year. And you may wanna see more than what's in there, so that would be a time maybe to invite them to a meeting and say, you know, could you put a little bit more in this report or something to that, or whatever, just, and because who reads all those reports in the town report too? Some people do, some people don't, so, but I understand what you're saying for sure. It just, some people would rather write it out and put it in the town report.
Great, and I appreciate that, but I didn't know what other forum except board meeting to bring that up.
Well, I hear, for me, I hear what you're saying, like, these people are appointed to this position, inspector of trees or whatever, and you never hear from them because nothing ever happens.
Right.
And I think that's where you're going, is you wanna hear something from these appointed people, right? Right, in saying that?
Yes.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Many years ago, I remember the planning commission used to regularly come to select board meetings, not every meeting, but there used to be more of a presence, by the planning commission at select board meetings. Has there been any talk of doing that again? It's time this week, I think.
Well,
I've gone to planning commission meetings, I think I'm the only one.
no, the other
I meant
way,
the other way around.
then coming here, we had Buzz, but.
Yeah, I think that would be. I'll put that on the agenda for the planning commission meeting and else. I think that there is some value in having the representation on both. And they've actually told me they appreciate me being on the select board because I'm communicating what they're saying and back. So having the whole board probably, at least in some of the meetings, I think, yes. They came to every meeting?
No, I'm just once in a while, somebody from.
Good point.
Yeah. And we do hear from capital budget, but it's really around budget time, but no, from time to time, sure, and you guys are on it. These guys are on it.
How often do you hear from the town constable or the health officer? Nothing unless something comes up.
No, you're right.
Same with the town health officer.
Try to take care of it.
I mean, there's an issue, they let us know.
Right, but other than that,
Yeah.
Potentially, you could have a rotating schedule where planning commission and a couple of other reps. Rotate through meetings. I don't know if you feel this.
The gap is the Wyndham Regional Commission Commissioner,
There's an opening.
there's an opening, I don't know how to pursue that.
Suggestion on a written on that,
No,
there was not one.
huh? Not on one.
David,
was that
Oh,
posted?
that's for solid waste.
That's solid waste, just.
That's solid waste.
Was the women commissioner posted it this afternoon? I don't know.
Then we should post it.
It would be helpful is if somebody explained what that person does too.
Well, Eric,
Yeah.
I know Eric has sent us emails on, what the regional's doing. A lot of different
It's
reports, so you get that information.
Can I say something? to this?
Sure.
I need to stop talking, but, 3 years ago. Well, 6 years ago, I was deputy health officer. 3 years ago, the previous health officer didn't want to do it anymore, so I was asked personally if I wanted to do it. And I said, put an ad out to the town to see if maybe there is somebody interested. If there is not, I would probably do it. So an ad goes out, somebody steps up to do it. But if I hadn't said to put an ad out, an ad wouldn't have gone out and nobody would have known. And that's happened multiple times.
Okay.
So if you want people in these positions, to what Peter is saying, put it out there. And not everything goes out.
There is a job description for Wyndham Regional, if no one has ever wanted it, but Eric.
Oh, I understand, but I haven't seen that in the graphic news, that there was an opening.
So was there no ad this year?
No, there was, I think, was the assumption that there wasn't someone needed necessarily, was there?
I don't know why Eric said he would re-up.
Right.
So again, it's like everybody else who's been on it, they are re-upping their position.
So even with a re-upping,
The whole thing,
if the term is up, it should go out.
it should go out, yeah.
If there's more than one person interested in the position, then they plead their case. You may not have that, but it still should go up. It's no different than select board terms going up at the end of the term. Maybe like John ran unopposed, nobody wanted to run for the 3-year seat, but there could have been somebody, and it could be with these other positions too. Chances probably not, but you never know.
Wendy, could you please clarify what was in the graphic news on?
Don't ask me. I don't remember.
I
That's a
mean,
good
that's what
point,
we're
yeah.
hinging this,
Yeah.
has been advertised.
Probably,
Half the time, nobody knows that there's stuff open.
yeah, I think probably,
It's gonna take them, that's right.
yeah, next year, probably a couple months.
No, I'm not
before-
volunteering myself.
Maybe next year, a couple months before the town meeting, we should run the whole slate, make sure it's out there.
Well, is it too late, Buzz? I mean, what would be?
I mean,
the
I think we can still put in for,
Advertising it in the April, advertising these positions in the April,
for all positions.
yeah, all the ones that were term limits are at.
No, the Wyndham Regionals due April 1st.
So our timeline.
Okay,
Yeah, it won't be
that,
around time, because.
Yeah, but it would have to be for next year. On most of these, otherwise you're gonna have empty spots and
Yeah,
nobody to call upon if
I think it's a good
Okay,
point,
got
that it probably has to start next year.
okay. So I misunderstood.
And then with there, there's two for the WRC, I think it's Charlotte Kaufman, that's not.
Yes, that's the last minute.
Yeah.
there's an opening. You're interested? The first line, be interested and willing to expend time and energy on issues relating to quality of life, and wise use of resources in the region, and there's 7 more.
Oh, I know.
I know.
But now it's at 181.
What's that?
Now, Wyndham Regional is very involved in Act 181,
Yeah,
which is a very important
Very,
issue
yes.
before the town.
March
And will
16th.
be if it gets postponed or several. So what did we just say?
Next year, we would make sure that we put the slate out
Yeah,
before and the whole slate, not. Still, and so that's a proper process.
What about the and then advertise the Wyndham Regional Commissioner
Oh,
now?
we're not.
You
it's
can't,
not
well,
really
it's
out
due
in
April
time.
1st.
there's no vehicle,
I mean, we could post it, like on the bulletin board and
and it can go in the
the
minutes.
store.
You only have like 2 weeks and this has to be in
I understand.
with a name.
We need to,
Well, are you gonna?
Yeah, you know, for the second person,
So
right?
you have to
Cheryl
have a
no
special,
longer.
and you have to have a special meeting to appoint that person, just so you.
Yeah.
Because you don't have another meeting between now and April 1st.
Well, I would volunteer to be that person, but I'm with Robbie, I think it's better to advertise it, I don't wanna just. And I don't even know if you would appoint me anyway, but, I would be happy to do that position, but I'm with Robbie, I think it's better to advertise it and whoever else wants to step up, step up.
Timing wise, though, right now, because
Let me make you a copy of the responsibilities.
So no, I mean, that's why I raised the point about the advertising, and
I appreciate it, I was considering saying the thing, if we couldn't find anybody, but how we get too many, yeah. Too many things. Yeah, I think you'd be a great representative for us, the WAC. And I think we are just out of time, right? I think it's a good process improvement for next year. We're coming out of time.
We have to.
Make a motion
So-
to appoint Suzanne.
said you said appointment.
All right, I'll make a motion to appoint Suzanne Welch for, another representative to Wyndham Regional Commission. Do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Any discussion?
Is this adding her to the list that we're gonna vote on or just?
Where?
So all in favor of the appointments that I've read, including this addition, with Suzanne?
We need an appointment as she's in.
We have to do Suzanne.
Yeah, I don't think we had your motion, did we get a second? I second.
Yeah.
then we need to vote.
You didn't have a motion originally on all of the brains. There was a motion.
Well, is this one to add it to the list that we're gonna vote for?
Okay.
Or do we, okay, I'm sorry.
Really, I think we did, for all.
I think so, you did
listed.
it. I see that somebody started talking when he started asking questions before you actually got that wrong.
Okay,
Closed in discussion.
That's right.
so. I would make a motion to accept the list as it's been modified. This evening, adding Suzanne Welch to the WRC commissioner. And then otherwise as presented.
I will
Does that
second
cover?
that.
You added John to the lumber inspector,
I couldn't hear you.
you added John to the lumber inspector.
Yeah.
Oh, and John Gregory to my, thank you.
And I will second with the inclusion.
Sorry.
Hey, all in favor of the motion that's been seconded? For the appointments, all in favor,
Aye.
any opposed? Motion carries.
You got their name.
Other business,
I'll get a signature, please.
Did you say other business?
Suzanne's name here.
Mhm.
If she's good with the appointed to sign that. And just for the info for anyone interested, so. Michelle will keep that on there.
okay,
So she wanted to do next year.
I'm gonna select the on
Yeah. And I'll get information from Suzanne. Unusual.
Under other business, Al Sands, asked, to meet with me and asked me. And we met with him earlier today. He just wanted to, make a suggestion and get some feedback from, a set of the select board. And this was in response to Bill Kearns, seeking a replacement, as director of emergency management. And Al is not looking to take over that position, but he feels he does have some experience, from the time of the emergency management situation with Katrina. And he thought he could support, training a team with things that were learned during that event. And that included things like, having a check-in, for contractors and personnel, both equipment and people, during the emergency. Tracking local issues, maybe it's a flood that we think is one of the local. That may expand later into, a national, or state or national emergency where you need more tracking. So doing the tracking right from the beginning, even if, it may not expand into state or national, but then you would have the tracking, and documentation if you need it. He talked about a T-card rack, that he believes was at the highway department that is used for tracking equipment and where it's being leveraged. And, he is willing to train people, and he thought it would benefit the town, to have a trained team, if an emergency came up. And that a lot of the lessons, from Katrina and other emergencies would not be lost.
That, not Katrina, that's, 96 flood here.
Okay, I'm sorry. He said Katrina today, but.
That was already, that got started, but it didn't get very far before people just beat it up and.
Yeah, those things are hard to maintain over time. I do think it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a very good idea. It was, quite a lot of it was done,
Yeah.
but that was, I don't know how many years ago now, but.
And now we have a new key member, with Travis, he would certainly be part of that. And he also mentioned, the volunteers and the fire department did a lot, during that period. But having that, training, and, roles that, different volunteer groups might fill, would be beneficial to have it set up from. So, I think more discussion can be had on that, but I did tell him I would bring that forward and share. with the select board. And, he said there were lessons learned, from that event. That, it sounds like, and this happens a lot. You have an event like that and everybody's gung ho, you're gonna do training, and then years pass and it kind of, falls by the wayside. That's kind of natural. But I think it's something that would benefit us to pull out and review.
Yeah, well,
So, that was it, and I can send the notes to you from that if I would help.
So was Bill with you with this meeting, or it's just you and?
It was Al
Yeah.
doing this one.
I think
Yeah,
it,
it was, certainly contained all the notes that I would have missed, everything, because you got it all. You got it all, it was a full, thorough, interaction. I have nothing to add.
any other business? I have one. I did meet with, I met with, Bill Kearns. He had called me concerning how we adopted our STR ordinance. We have some errors that have to be fixed. And I'm proposing that next week that we have a special meeting to go over the STR and how you're supposed to adopt it according to the rules of adoption in ordinances. So I have some information here. And we'll go over it.
I don't really understand, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to meet some information.
In the adoption of the ordinance?
How we, yeah, we didn't learn it correctly.
Oh.
So we have to fix that.
Uh-huh.
And then I learned that we do have a petition out there. So that's coming around.
well, one of the things, Kathy, on the ordinances. I think they ought to be put where they belong and not the selectmen not be involved in, it. They belong in the planning
Right.
commission,
Yeah, we talked about that.
Belong in a what?
planning commission.
Planning commission
Okay.
should have done it.
We stay out of it, we're not in the,
Okay.
business of doing that.
Not even hanging here on this one, what exactly has, I mean, just not just the process, what are the steps we missed and?
We didn't follow the law in adopting it.
But what
There's
role does the
procedures
planning
how to-
commission have? What role does the planning commission have?
Because it has to do with infrastructure. Properties.
But planning commissioners are not elected officials,
They don't.
so how do they do legislative
You
work?
look up the law and you'll see it states right in there, the planning commission does this.
They can't vote to put a,
That's what it says.
regulation or
That's what it says.
ordinance in place. They
So-
can propose it, but I think the select board has to be the.
Look it up.
The select board appoints the planning commissioners. They're not elected officials, I'm not disputing it, I just don't
Yeah,
understand.
I'm not disputing it either. I just don't know how did it get past our lawyers and how do other select
Because
boards?
it didn't read 24 VSA. Section 2291. Subsection 12, 13, 14, 29. Of 24 VSA 1971. And I've been reading it. And it's some errors that we did. I think they can be fixed easily. It was reviewed by the attorney. And Bill is saying the attorney should have known the site 24 VSA. Also, our select board handbook. So we need to go over it, we'll come to a meeting and explain it. And I'm proposing a special meeting in select board. Some point. Next week, if we can.
So Kathy, just one more point, so you're suggesting that at the special meeting, Bill Kearns comes and explains the situation?
Mhm.
We, I'm pretty sure that, VLCT was involved
I
in
told him
this
that,
all along the way.
I told him that.
And it's just kind of surprising to me that, our process was not somehow, we didn't know that, we didn't. I think it would be really helpful to those of us who are concerned about how this process works, to get a representative from VLCT to also help us understand how the other towns pass this ordinance. I mean, are we all following the same process? I mean, if this gets called into question, I think we need to really dive into it.
Hmm.
Well, I'm gonna have a special meeting. Bill's offered to explain it, he explained it to me. And he said, you mentioned VLCT. But it has to do how we went about, adopting it. And that you have to have it in the newspapers, 5 newspapers, you have to explain what the STR is. That didn't get done, so. There's some technical things that had to be done to really adopt it. And that's what Bill was explaining. Also, the enforcement, you have an ordinance, so you can enforce. STR does not need enforcement with 8 occupants. And more than 8, yes, it does, but who's gonna enforce it? So we got into the weeds of that, so. I don't wanna
No,
go
I
into the weeds
understand.
right now because it's pretty complicated.
Yeah, this is all sort of
Okay.
blindsided.
I just think we need to keep in
Well-
mind that with all due respect.
And, there's also, he had gotten in touch with, one of the fire folks over at Springfield, so I have all the information. I just have to go through it, explain it, and do it right.
Right, and I'm all for that. The thing that I think we have to remind ourselves with all due respect is that Bill Kearns is approaching this as a private citizen.
He's
Not
approaching it
a
as
private
the, no, I'm correct too.
What
He
authority
is
that?
the, town administrator agent.
He's administrator
Officer. So he's brought up these points to me, which I was not aware of. I thought we did it right. We had some changes with the attorney had put in. But it's the way it was adopted and the way it was worn. We gotta go through that.
Okay, I understand, all right. So it has to do with the responsibility associated with planning and all that kind of development, that kind of thing.
Right.
And therefore it falls under his responsibility as town administrator to speak up about it. I mean, anybody can speak up, I'm just saying, to bring this to our attention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you spoken to you haven't talked to the attorney since you had this conversation with Bill?
No, this was Saturday, no, I did ask him to come to our meeting. He wanted to talk to me directly and put it on the agenda. Mention it today that we need to, schedule a special meeting.
I have a question, Kathy.
Yeah.
Does that pertain to all ordinances?
Yeah.
Because
I'm talking about
Did you
this one
ask-
right now.
didn't you pass a dog ordinance a year ago or so?
Yeah.
was an amended ordinance, an amendment of an ordinance.
Okay, no, I just like, so did that get warned the right way, or is that not?
All ordinances need to go in this format, following that, yes, but the dog ordinance had already been in place and we just amended it.
Okay.
What
Just
about-
curious, I just was making sure that I knew that happened.
No, yeah.
Is that void if it wasn't done proper?
Well, I would say that one wasn't done properly either.
I don't know.
Because the 5
That's why I asked.
newspapers,
It was done the same way.
it was done the same way, yeah. The 5 newspaper part is, I don't know if that's ever been, I mean, this all,
where you need to hang it 5 places and that also.
Which that did happen.
And,
We didn't do it.
we don't really want to talk about it, yeah.
Okay,
We'll talk about it.
I thought it was happening.
I didn't say we did. Any other public comment?
I would like
I'm
to
sorry.
just thank Kim and her team for running such a pristine election, an excellent town meeting. I mean, she and Michelle just worked so hard and the whole team did, and they were leaving late, so. And it was really a great thing for our town.
Thank you, I had a good team, though.
You really did, Kim, and you pulled it off just beautifully. So while you're part of that, we get to vote.
Any other public comment?
I have a quick,
Yes.
my name is Meg Gonzalez and I am the grants and volunteer coordinator for the Wyndham Foundation. And I would just like to personally invite you all and audience as well to our Grafton Trails Community Meeting. The executive director, Dan Lerner, is going to be there to give some updates about the Grafton Trails, including what's going on with the Act 250 permit amendment, some outstanding grants, some visions that the Wyndham Foundation has. I'm going to be talking a little bit about some volunteer opportunities, but I think the real key to this community meeting is to get feedback from the community on helping us revision what the Grafton Trails and Outdoor Center looks like moving forward. And I think that it's gonna be an opportunity for people to share the experiences that they've had since it was created to now, to how we can make it better facility for the community, but also play a bigger role in some regional recreational initiatives and that kind of thing. So hope that you all can make it Wednesday, 25th at 5 o'clock at the Wyndham Foundation Conference Room, which is Homestead Conference Room. And we're gonna have some great appetizers donated by the inn, cheese donated by the cheese company, some beverages donated by MKT, and opportunities for people to give their, to share ideas and recommendations.
Will you talk about the Act 250, what they have to do to, get accepted?
Yes,
Okay.
he's gonna give an update on
Oh, good.
where they're at with that, but he also would be happy to share some of his experience with it. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, hearing no other public comment, our next meeting is Monday, April 2nd, first.
6,
Why do I have April 1st here?
because it's not right. April 1st is a Wednesday.
Monday, April 6th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
No.
I didn't expect that out of Bill.
No.